What's up bikers, I'm Johnny Thompson from Fit for Racing and today I'm going to show you how to make the best kebab ever. Hold on a second, I already did a kebab. The second best kebab ever. You can do the whole chicken and rice and vegetables through the week and you can be super strict, but sometimes you just need a little bit more taste and a little bit more excitement from your meals. And that's why I'm going to show you this amazing pork gyros. It's super healthy, reasonably cheap, and pretty easy to do. So without further ado, let's get cracking. So, chopping board and pork shoulder, rolled pork shoulder. So this is from a butcher's. It's all tied up. We want to get all of this off and slice it up. What you want to do is take off the rind. Now don't get rid of this, we're going to use this later and I'll show you why. Okay, so now these pieces of meat are ready to slice into the size that we want. So one nice big slice through here. There we go. So that's the kind of thing that we're after. Is a nice piece that's universal size throughout. And what you want to do is try and cut your slices so that the thickness is the same on each one. Okay, and the skin, so the gristle, you want to chop that up to be about the same size or a little bit bigger than the pieces of meat that you've cut. Okay, so that's the meat all chopped up. What we're going to do now is get a bowl and flavor. So we've got here Italian seasoning, celery salt, garlic salt, paprika, ground cumin, garlic powder, salt and pepper, and garlic paste or crushed garlic. So we want to put all of that into the bowl along with a decent glug of oil. Then you get yourself a big skewer. So if you're doing this in the oven, you can use barbecue skewers like this, but you might need 3 or 4 to keep the thing together. So it goes a bit like this. The skin, the gristle. Get through. Put that on the end. Oh my God. Get through. Right, there, got it. Next, you want to take the bigger pieces, give it a dip through some nice oil. So that's the meat done, nice flavor, all packed in. Now, if you want to do this in the oven, put your oven temperature to 180 and then cook it all the way through until the meat's done. I'll show you what temperature to do that later. If you're going to do it on the rotisserie, then this is the time to put it on. The barbecue's fired up. Turn that on. Woohoo! Look at that. So now that's on the barbecue, on the rotisserie, we're going to close the lid. We're going to check the temperature and we're going to leave it around about 170, 180. So to be super healthy, we're going to do some roasted veg to go with this. Traditionally, you would put it in a pita bread, but last time we did a pita, and this time we're going to do some roasted veg and sweet potatoes for some more starchy carbohydrates. So while the pork's cooking, we're going to chop these and put them in the oven. I've got an axe because it's way quicker. And that's how you chop veg, super fast. So we throw all of this veg now into a baking tray. Not so fast anymore. Mix it around. We're gonna throw some oil over there. And that goes into the oven. So let's check back on the pork on the barbecue and see how that's getting on. So it's important that you keep checking the temperature because this doesn't have a thermostat. So I'm gonna turn that middle one off because it's already at 200 or close to 190. Let's have a look. Whoa, yes. Check that out. Whoa. Amazing. Now we're going to grate the cucumber into a bowl. So once grated, you'll find that there's a lot of moisture in the bottom. We want to get rid of that. So sieve it. Then we're going to add the yogurt. We're going to squeeze a tiny bit of garlic puree into there. A little bit of salt. And a tiny bit of fresh dill. So this just gives it the edge. For this, I think it's just going to make it a little bit more special. Stir all together. Give it a little taste. Very, very good. Because we're not having the pita bread, we're doing some roasted veg and sweet potato, but we'd still like the freshness and the crunchiness of the salad on the side. Now we're going to go outside and check the temperature for the pork. So the pork's been outside now for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. But the most important part is not the time, especially on something like this that is very variable in temperature. It's more about the internal temperature of the meat to make it safe. So what we're going to do is use this thermometer, stick it into the fattest part of the meat. It's going up 138, 140. Now guidelines were anything over 145 to 160. I like to go a little higher just to be sure. And there's no harm with this pork being a little bit longer so that you get the nice crispiness. So that's not quite there yet. Probably give it about 15 more minutes. So this is now looking about perfect. That's been in for about an hour and a half at 180. So I just like to stick it all on until the sweet potato is done. Everything else, having that little bit more char grilled flavor to it, isn't going to do it any harm. So let's take out some of this, put it on our plate. I'm going to put some tzatziki on now, a big splodge because this stuff is great. So that's that, the pork is done. That looks amazing. If you want, at this stage, you can pull it apart, spread it out and chop it up. But I like to have a bit more authentic kebab style and just start slicing these charred ends off with a big sharp knife, like so. Let's pop that on the plate. I'll chop the rest of that later. Okay, and there you have it. There's the pork gyros super healthy kebab. So we've got on there the really nice marinated rotisserie cooked pork that could have been done in the oven. In the oven was the veg and sweet potato. We've got a little bit of salad on the side and an awesome tzatziki. So none of that was particularly hard to make. All the veg went onto one pan and in the oven. The pork, yes, it was a bit of a faff to separate it and cut it up, but that adds all of the flavor. If you wanted to use that same recipe for the marinade and rub it outside a joint and then put it in the oven, that would be pretty cool as well, but you wouldn't get the flavor all the way through. And that's that for my pork gyros. So I hope you enjoyed this video. We will be doing more in the future, and I promise they're not all going to be kebab based, but some more might be because I love them. And so tune in next time. Peace.
1, 2, 3, listen.